All right, hey IED. So now we're going to make a bed, all right, for your room. And what's cooler than that is you're going to learn a new joint for how to put it in your room. We're going to talk more about joints in a sec here. But this is going to be a Murphy bed, all right? So not only will it, go in your room, but check this out. It can fold up into the wall. Okay, so they used to call those Murphy beds, right? Or if like you live in the city and you need more space, it's a Murphy bed. But you'll see it's only going in that direction. It's not going anywhere else. And if I really wanted to, I could even animate this joint by right-clicking, say Animate Joint, and it'll just kind of show what it does. All right, to get out of that, hit Escape. So let's get started. Where we're going to start with this is, let's close the data panel. We're going to make the bed legs. Okay, this will be maybe the most complicated part of the bed. And it's because I want to give you some practice in thinking in terms of like X and Y coordinates when you interpret a multi-view drawing. All right. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to interpret a drawing and create a part from it. And also, we'll talk some more about joints and other stuff in this, chamfering, that kind of stuff. All right. So to get this is the drawing file I've created. All right. So this is going to be our guide for making this. And I'm going to get you started with at least, if you look at this, it's broken down into some like sharp edges, an angle, and then 3 arcs, a series of 3 arcs. And I'm going to get you started with at least one of those arcs, maybe 2, but I'm going to have you finish the rest after that. Okay? So let's get started. First thing you always want to do is save your work, and you're going to call this bed leg, your last name. I'm not going to do that because I've already got one, but yeah, you can do that. Create sketch, pick one of the upright planes, and what I want you to do is think of this in terms of X and Y coordinates, all right? So this right here, where my mouse is, all right, so this is 0, 0, all right? So then we're gonna be working in the positive kind of section of the plane, all right? So our first point is gonna be at an X of 1.5, all right, and a Y of 0. So I come over here. Actually, first point's going to be at 0, 0, right? So what I can do is use these things called points, and they're going to actually help us make this sketch, all right? So I'm going to put one at 0, 0, and then I'm going to put one at 1.5, or 0, 1.5, all right? Or I said that wrong, 1.50. All right, so let's go to the next one. I'm pretty sure that that's 1.5. I'll check on that in a sec. All right, so the next one is going to be 0.75. All right, that would be its X value, and 1 is its Y value, okay? So each time you switch out of something, it's going to forget what you were doing, so you have to go select it again, point. So we said like 0.75 and 1. All right, so we'll put 1 here. Okay, so now let's start checking these, making sure that they're dimensioned correctly. So I want to measure from, so one thing I'm going to do right now, all right, I'm going to cancel out of this for a sec, is I'm going to fix this point. I don't want it to move, all right? In general, there's better ways to constrain things than using fix, unfix. That's like your last resort. Sometimes you have to do that, but we're just going to park that there, click OK. So let's dimension from here to here. Good chance that wouldn't have moved anyway, but all right, perfect. So that's 1.5. All right, I'm just going to drag that way down here, all right? Because it's going to clutter up our sketch if they're kind of in the way. So just hit enter, all right? And then we're going to check on this one that it is, okay, so it's supposed to be 0.75, right? So let's change that to 0.75. All right, and then let's check the Y value on it. And that needs to be 1. Okay, and it is. Good. All right. So I'm going to hit enter. So speaking of constraining things, while I'm at it, I can make sure that this really is at 0, 0 by using the horizontal constraint and putting it with that line. Okay, so cool. Now that's fully constrained. All right, or that point is anyway. So let's go to the next point. So as you're looking at this, and I'll share like a PDF of this with you or something, just keep thinking in terms of X and Y planes, right? Or coordinates. So the next one up is going to be, again, 0.75, so pretty easy, but now 1.93. All right, so let's grab another point, and it's going to be on 0.75. So see that little blue line that's showing us that we're in line with the 0.75, and it was 1.93, right, which is kind of an awkward distance. So let's just dimension that. Actually, hang on. First, I'm going to constrain this vertically to this point. All right. And so saying that it should be at the same spot. And then I'm going to dimension the distance from here to the bottom or to that point as 1.93. All right, enter. Okay, so let's check here and see what the next point is. Okay, so that's enough to start our two arcs, our first two arcs, okay? So I'm gonna get us started on that, and then I'm gonna let you actually create the rest of this thing. You can see in the end, all you're gonna have to do is revolve it a full 360 degrees, all right? And to do that, you'll click Finish Sketch, and then you'll use the 3D feature in the solids that is revolve. All right, so let's start making this a little bit here. I'm going to put a line from this point to this point, okay? But we're going to need an arc from here to there. All right, so let's do create. Okay, one thing I'd like us to do before we get too far is sometimes people forget to put the middle line here. So let's just do that while we're at it too. So this whole thing is 7 inches tall. All right, and we're going to start from here, and we're going to go up. I'll just type 7 inches, and there we go. Okay, so now we're good there. All right, so we're doing this first arc. So go to Create. Now, there's 3 different types of arcs. You want the 3-point arc, all right? And the way the 3-point arc works is you pick the start of the arc, the end of the arc, and then the center, and you just pick any kind of center point, all right? So this is the start of our arc. Here's the end of it. And for now, let's just place a point right there. All right, so now I'm going to make one more arc. All right, so I've got start, finish, but this one's going this way. All right, and I'm just going to kind of pick a random point here. All right, so right click, okay. We need to dimension the radii of those arcs. All right, so this first one is 3.97. Okay, so coming over here, we'll go to Dimension, Sketch Dimension. Select that, and I'm going to tell this thing that it should be, I'm just trying to get this so it's not so busy, 3.97, enter. All right, cool. So it's got that one, and it's turned black because we've added a dimensional constraint, so that's getting fully constrained. The more constrained you can have your sketch, the better, because it's less likely to mess up when you go to make it 3-dimensional, all right? All right, and so this next one, I guess I'm glad I showed you this. I actually know, I can just tell you, I had this, I picked a setting that these lines are going to show up even though they're tangent to each other, okay? And so normally there shouldn't be like a visible edge. So that is your clue, all right, that the arcs are all tangent to each other. That means if there's 3 arcs, there's going to be 2 tangent constraints, all right? So we can apply the first one now and find tangent, all right? So we're going to select this, and there we go. We get a nice little tangent constraint shows up. Remember, if it gets too busy, you can just turn off the visibility of dimensions and constraints. I almost always recommend, though, having the constraints on so you can see what's going on. But yeah, now this is fully constrained, all right? Because by telling it needed to be tangent to this one, that actually tells it enough mathematically that it knows exactly what this line, what curve it has to have, all right? And so, check it out. We're expecting this to have a radius of 0.64. Well, watch what happens. If I go to dimension the radius, and I click on here, you're going to see it's already calculated it at being 0.64, and I wouldn't be able to change that if I really wanted to, okay? So, I'm going to cancel out of that. We don't need that. But from here, you're going to just keep finishing this thing by looking at the drawing and interpreting, X value, which would be the one side to side, Y value, the up and down, where each point should go, okay? Once you've finished your sketch, and the easiest part's at the top, all right? I'm leaving you a little hard part here with the arc in the middle. You are going to finish the sketch, right? And then, like I said, pick the revolve feature. All right, so that's it for this video, and then we'll have a video on how to attach these with a rigid joint, because I don't think we went over joints very well with the windows, and then make your revolve joint in the bed room. You're going to actually design the kind of bed on your own though. All right, I'll give you a sketch if you really want to follow it, but all it needs to do is just look the way you kind of want it to look. Thanks.